Hey, what's up? I'm Amobi Okugo, former professional soccer player turned corporate entrepreneur. Today we're going to talk about 5 habits that help athletes make it to the next level. As I always talk about, my job is to help you grow professionally and personally, on the field, off the field, using my experiences as a professional soccer player to help you apply to your own career, whether it's on the field or off the field. So we want to talk about 5 habits. These are things that I've seen not only as a player, not only as a corporate entrepreneur, but also as a scout, as a trainer, as a coach. And I feel like these habits will help you tremendously and give you the best chance to go pro. So, first and foremost, taking care of your body. I don't care how much ability you have if you're not available to showcase those talents. And the number one way to do that is to take care of your body, not only from a strength and conditioning standpoint, but a recovery standpoint, from a fitness standpoint, a nutrition standpoint. How are you taking care of your body? If you think of yourself as a luxury vehicle, there's only a certain type of gas that you can put in that luxury vehicle. You don't put unleaded, 87 unleaded in a 91 Supreme car. And how you treat your body will directly correlate to how you perform on the field and off the field. If you're not getting enough sleep, that's going to show up on the field. If you're not putting the right nutrients in your body, that's going to show up on the field. If you're not recovering, you're probably not even going to be on the field because you're going to be injured. So the habit of taking care of your body is number one. The ability only matters based on your availability. So how are you making yourself available day in, day out, week in, week out, year after year? There's going to be injuries. There's going to be muscle strains. But because you're taking care of your body, how can you minimize that? How can you, if you do get injured, how can you subtract the level of, how can you lessen the injury length, if that makes sense? So that's number one. Number two, the habit of saying no. Say no to say yes. I know that might be a little bit tricky, but you have to say no to the late nights. You have to say no to the distractions. You have to say no to any vices that you have in order to give yourself the best yes opportunity to make it pro. This is especially, if you're a collegiate athlete, you're gonna have your student life, you're gonna have your sports life, you're gonna have your social life. What you do from the student life gives you the best eligibility. You have to have a certain grade to make sure you're able to play on the field. What you do in your social life is gonna make you susceptible to your performance on the field. So what are you saying no to give yourself the best yes opportunity to make it pro? The best athletes, the habit of saying no, the habit of saying no to distractions. So for example, today is January 19th. The national championship is today. Frankie Mendoza, the quarterback of Indiana, the Heisman winner, when it comes to what he said no to, is he said no to Instagram and TikTok, because that was a vice or a distraction from him from accomplishing his goal of national championship. Maybe they win, maybe they don't. That's not to say that he didn't say yes to other things. He's on LinkedIn, he's on YouTube, because those certain platforms, at least for him, help him advance his goal. Instagram and TikTok, not so much. So he said no to say yes. Now he's on the brink of a national championship after winning the Heisman. So these are things that you have to think about, using that as an example. The third one, the habit of studying and film. Imagine taking the test blind. You're not giving yourself the best chance to ace that test. So the best chance to win a game is to study film. Not only film of your opponent, but also film of yourself. What are my weaknesses? What are my strengths? Where do I perform well? What are the things that I do to give myself the best chance to succeed? What are the things that set me up for failure? If I don't study what are my pros and cons, what are my wins and woes, then how will I perform when it's game time? That is very important. Being able to study film, being able to study the data, study the nuances, build from the lessons learned to apply to match day and game day or test day. The fourth habit is, similar to the trait of being proactive, is the habit of thinking ahead. When you see a top athlete one thing that you'll notice about them is that the game seems slower for them. And that's because they think ahead. They think 1 to 2 to 3 steps ahead. One of my favorite midfielders of all time is Xavi and Iniesta. What they were so good at is that they were thinking plays ahead. If I get the ball in this scenario, what is my option A? What's my option B? What's my option C? Because based on how the defender reacts, now I have multiple options to get me out of pressure and to make the next move. If we think reactive, then we are helter-skelter or we're in a state of emergency. But when we're cool, calm, and collected because we've played out scenarios, we've played out pathways, we've given ourselves internal maps of what can happen, that gives us the best chance. And that's a very beneficial habit to have, of thinking ahead, to play out scenarios, to give yourself the best chance of success. That's in case something gets blocked, you're able to take it this way. If this gets blocked, you're able to take it that way. So always being able to think ahead and have multiple options is very important. And the last one is doing simple better. Understanding the basics. We look at athletes like Steph Curry that's shooting half-court shots. But before he did that, he was mastering layups. He was mastering free throws. He was mastering form. The hardest thing to do in soccer is to keep it simple. How can you keep it simple? How can you break down the basics? How can you do the basics well so that you're able to do the complex things? The habits of the boring practices, the repetitive drills, the basic fundamental. Have you mastered the basics first? Have you done simple better? If you master simple better, you'll be able to do complex and compound over time. So those are the 5 habits: taking care of your body, saying no, studying, thinking ahead, and lastly, doing simple better. If you can master these 5 habits, you will give yourself the best chance of success to ultimately go pro. Obviously, we're talking about professionally, but it could be whatever aspect, whatever pathway you choose. Let me know what other habits that you think come to mind when it comes to giving yourself the best chance to succeed. Whether you DM me, write in the comments, email me. And as we always end, the vision is clear, the road is not. Okay, you go.